Oh, hi! It's the weekend, but this weekend we're gonna be doing a weekend threefer. Why? Because we're gonna be talking about the OG Tiger and Bunny figures, and as an addition, we're gonna be talking about their vehicle, the Double Chaser. But before that, let's talk about something that I've been talking about. I've been bringing up for the longest time, and of course, the gift that keeps on giving, the New Jeans saga. Now, it is actually perfect timing that as that just yesterday the Seoul Central Court has made the decision with regards to Ador's injunction against New Jeans, or the formerly NJZ, who used to be New Jeans. Well, to give a quick background, by the way, I'll be posting down links. I'll actually post the decision link, and I'll be posting a recap video by another YouTuber who actually summed it up very objectively. I have to say it's pretty objective and it's pretty short. So for you guys to have a background on this, but nevertheless, let me give you a quick background, or at least give a quick recap. So what happened was Ador, which is a sub-label of the Hive group of companies, filed an injunction against New Jeans. Yes, I'll be calling them New Jeans since technically what happened was they lost. No, Ador won the injunction. So Ador, which is the company, which was the label that New Jeans used to be in, or actually still in right now, but they tried to leave, was the filed an injunction in Korean court. Now, what was that injunction for? It's to stop New Jeans from doing independent activities. Now, it actually started with an injunction against getting independent sponsorships or independent endorsements, but then expanded that injunction into all activities. So technically speaking, they're trying to stop New Jeans from doing any activity without their involvement, right? So take note that this is different from their case for contract validation, right? So there's a difference. So while the main case in itself is the contract validation, wherein Ador is asking the court to validate their exclusive contract. This one is separate, but in a smaller part. It's to stop them from doing any activity until the contract validation. All right, that's we have to make that clear. Okay, now the thing that makes it similar is that the elements that New Jeans are using, stating that they already invalidated, or they already left their exclusive contract, is basically the same elements. And what are those? Number one, they say that they're being mistreated by Hybe on the following factors. The other factors being, they're not getting support. They were supposed to be shelved, in terms like put their career in a freezer. They're not being treated correctly. And another part of it is that the promise of them being the first girl group of Hybe was not fulfilled. Right? So those are the reasons. So plus the other reason which led Hani to be called in the National Assembly, which was that they claimed that they were bullied, workplace bullying, wherein a supposed manager. By the way, a manager for the K-pop scene is not a manager wherein they're like in mid-level management. A manager is basically like an executive like an assistant, right? So where an islet manager told Hani, no, where Hani heard an islet manager tell the other islet girls to ignore her. Right? So they thought that those were the reasons why. So, what happened in the injunction hearing, which happened last week, was both sides went in and gave the arguments. So, excuse me. Apparently, the Eugene side took up Sejong, which is the number 2 law firm in Korea, who is also the same law firm that handles Min Hee-jin. While apparently they say that Hybe took the number 1 law firm in Korea. But then again, it's all about the case and not the lawyers anyway, right? So, what happened was they brought out their evidence. Now, that's where a lot of things blew up, right? First off, we're gonna be talking about the Hani Gate or the Ignore Gate, wherein Hani said that she was ignored. Actually, the Eugene side presented screenshots of their Kakao Talk where Hani was talking to Min Hee-jin about it, but that gambit or that thing blew back to them. Okay, like literally blew up in their face, because what Hybe did instead was brought out the full Kakao Talk conversation, wherein apparently what Sejong did was they cherry picked some of the messages that would suit their agenda. So what this happened now is it took the whole thing. Apparently, Hani wasn't even sure that she was ignored, right? Apparently, also, Hani didn't really find it offensive. Then, Ador, I guess, I guess Ador also showed the court the CCTV footage wherein it was shown that the ILET members did perform the bow, not just to Hani, and actually Danielle was there as well, and they bowed to Danielle as well. So they bowed to both people. Now, the New Jeans fans were saying that it's a different date, but it's not, because remember, in the National Assembly, Hani gave the date. Technically, she even gave a different date, which is the date where Eilert was in Japan, and then corrected the date. So and aside from that, when Min Hee-jin was still CEO, they did complain about it, and they already showed the footage of it. There was no other footage except for that footage wherein they had any interaction. Now, toxic Tokis would say, they never mentioned anybody. No, that they did, but they did in the National Assembly. So, that blew up in their face because it showed two things. Number one, it showed that Eilert didn't ignore Hani. And number two, that Hani was lying. It showed Hani was lying because in the National Assembly, she was crying, she felt bullied. But her messages with Min Hee-jin actually showed that she didn't really care about it. She wasn't even sure. It was actually Min Hee-jin who was trying to push the issue if she was ignored, or I mean, if the manager was saying to ignore her. And of course, with Hani also not being a native Korean speaker, she might have misinterpreted, but she actually didn't really notice it. So that's one thing, and that's actually that blew up because it showed that Hani wasn't as truthful as she really was. Second was the Hybe mistreatment, okay, the Hybe mistreatment. Number one is that what Ador countered was that Ador mistreatment, or number one was that the first claim was that they were gonna shelve them or put them in the freezer. But the thing is, there were messages from Bang Si-hook himself, not from Ador, but Bang Si-hook himself, that he said he was talking about him knowing some producers in the States who would want to work with New Jeans. And he told that to one of the VPs, the guy who had some sexual misconduct thing guy. So they had that. Second, Hybe invested $15 million for the um, for the for the debut of New Jeans. Who would spend 15? I doubt any Hybe group had that big of budget. Next, Hybe even gave them gave them the chance to be marketed as BTS's sister group or BTS's little sisters. Went even as far as having Hani and Minji um, join in the BTS music video. That never happened. I mean, I actually when I was still following New Jeans, they even did dance challenges with Suga. So if they're saying that they're not being prioritized or not being put, they're gonna be put in the freezer. That's not true. Plus, Ador even gave them a timetable, gave them a plan what they were gonna do. They're gonna be doing a tour, and they're gonna be doing other things which they did not follow. They did not want to do. So that showed that they were not gonna be shelved. Another thing also is with the brand deal. They're actually all New Jeans also complaining about the brand deal that they didn't get. That one of their members, Hyen, the youngest one, was supposed to be taken by Louis Vuitton, but then what happened was they got La Seraphim as a whole instead. But what Ador countered, or what Source Music countered, was that Sakura, one of the La Seraphim members, was already an endorser for Louis Vuitton even before her Hype days when she was still with IZ*ONE. So instead of like getting another one, what they did was through the Japanese office was to why not get it on a package group instead, get the group. And uh, um, after some time, Hyen also got Hyen as well. So I'm not sure what they were bitching about. They were bitching about that. So they were talking about it that they missed out, but they did not get missed out. They got it. They got Hyen as well. Plus the fact that they were getting all these brand deals. Each of the five members got their own brand deals. Right. So all this were and lastly was also they brought up for the nth time the plagiarism thing, wherein they were saying that Eyelet plagiarized, but then again there's a lot of talk already about it, wherein it's the different concepts. They even talked about the documents is the same, but they're from the Hive umbrella group. It's just the same template, but the content is different. So they all brought that out. And then to top things off, the five New Jeans girls came in wearing all black, as in the thumbnail video, like going to a funeral, and each gave their own speech, which also the Ador CEO also gave her speech and asking them to give her a chance. Now, what happened, which is one thing that was noticed by netizens, was that the New Jeans girls were rolling their eyes and laughing at the woman, and then while doing those impassioned crying, where Daniel even cried and shed some tears in the injunction hearing, they were all laughing and smiling. So that actually gave a bad taste in the netizens and Koreans' mouth, and they're in their mouth with the way they acted. And true enough, just yesterday, the judge made a decision in which they judged in favor of Ador, which is wherein they can't New Jeans cannot do any activities. Plus, they were also saying that New Jeans was also saying that Bang Si-hook, not Hype or Ador, Bang Si-hook talked to ComplexCon, because what will happen was today, the New Jeans was going to perform in ComplexCon in Hong Kong. But they were gonna be performing as NJZ, which the name that they used, which is basically just like New Jeans, right? NJZ, and they're gonna be performing a song, and then they're gonna do a performance. So that's actually the thing that triggered Ador to really go through the injunction and to expand the injunction. So, technically speaking, if they're going to be strict about it, they can't do it. They can't do it. But then again, Ador allowed them. They allowed them for this performance. They allowed it to do them. But their only request was they be recognized as New Jeans, not NJZ, because New Jeans is Ador property and that's Ador IP, and they are still they since they're fighting for their contract validity, they will still be performing as New Jeans, part of Ador. Right? That's a big blow to New Jeans, especially since technically speaking, in case apparently it was said that in cases such as these, they usually uh, they usually uh, they usually judge, or they usually decide in favor of the artist, because that's their source of income. Right? That's what they usually do. But this time, evidence and paperwork was compelling on the side of Ador. Actually, came to a point that the judge even asked the New Jeans side to fix their papers, because I'm sure that with everything they said, it's not enough, right? Because in the real world, I guess in the real world, hurt feelings does not constitute mistreatment. Um, False promises, which actually you caused that, where Min Hee Jin delayed the debut for New Jeans, which ended up forcing Source Music to debut the Seraphim first, does not constitute a breach. And having the same black hair and wearing a handbook does not constitute plagiarism. So technically speaking, every point that New Jeans made were claims, no evidence, and more like opinions and feelings. While Ador, on the other hand, which is pretty good, they kept their evidence close by until it was time to release it, which is in the court. Funny, Honey, who I guess is who at that time, I get the last who at last week, her reputation's pretty shot with what happened. Then posted on Instagram saying that she wanted to say other things but did not, which was stupid, because all New Jeans New Jeans parents, Min Hee Jin, did was spread everything in social media without, and in the press, without really having evidence, wherein the best time for her to speak her truth and to speak her side was supposed to be in court, because that is the official venue, but she did not. She even posted on Instagram after, so it's stupid, you know. I guess she felt the heat that she's a liar. So it all it at the end of the day, I have to say that good thing that the judge did not get swayed by emotion, did not get swayed by public sentiment, because those talkies even had a 30,000 signature petition, which was found out that the platform used for that petition can be one person can do multiple signatures, and there's even actually a part where if you sign the petition, you get chicken, right? You get like chicken, free chicken, free fried chicken, right? So I mean, from the get go, when it was first with the news about the trial was released. I mean, personally speaking, I knew that they're gonna lose it, but I wasn't sure, because I'm not sure. Of course, I don't know much about Korean law or Korean proceedings, but I mean the fact that New Jeans kept doing the media thing, even going there to talk to the judge, to give speeches, that people will get, maybe they thought that maybe they may be swaying opinions to their side. Just those the same thing that they did in the National Assembly, because they've got those bunny uncles. But then again, the National Assembly also invalidated those claims. So that actually gave me the idea. Oh, okay. So they were gonna listen to them, but they were really not gonna decide on their favor, because Hybe still retained their classification as top employer. Hani's part is that they decided that since she is a talent, she's not an employee, that she was that she doesn't have the employer-employee relationship, that she was more of a contractor. So technically speaking, everything they brought out in the National Assembly also did not prosper. So this one also did not prosper. And it just validates I guess for me, being an Eyelet fan, it actually validates that Eyelet did not copy, right? Even the court decided this decision that there's no plagiarism. They did not find any plagiarism. And second, that Eyelet did not bully or did not do the ignore thing on Hani, right? For all that time that Eyelet debuted, talkies and even casuals. Actually, casuals were hating on them, and at least this is court vindication for this. And next is that this is also court vindication for Hybe as a whole, that they were not being mistreated. But then again, toxic bunnies were talking about it, saying that they paid the judge. What? I mean, they'll never admit to anything, but here it is. Now, I'm not sure how big of an impact this will be for the April hearing on their contract validation. But then again, I guess it might. I'm not sure how big this decision will be on Bilift Lab and Source Music's case against Min Hee Jin, the defamation case against Min Hee Jin, because I guess if I were the lawyers for Bilift, I'd say that even this court says that they were not plagiarized, so they hurt us. But the thing is with Eyelet is that I'm not sure if it will hurt Eyelet that Pokari went back. Yes, by the way, I remember that, if you remember previous videos, but I'm not sure if you watch it, but one he didn't get renewed for her Pokari Sweat endorsement, but instead apparently they're gonna be getting the whole group. Technically speaking, I mean, it's kind of sus for me, because I guess they were just waiting. They were really playing their cards safe, or playing safe, by waiting if it's going to die down, and maybe as an apology, I guess, personal opinion, maybe as an apology, instead of just getting one he back, I'd get the whole group, because they did sponsor the drink for the fan meeting. So that's one thing. And lately, Eyelet has been getting some fans, especially with their almond chocolate performance, especially with their vocals. One his high note has gone viral. And I'm happy for that, because I'm an Eyelet fan. I've always said it. The hate that they've gotten during their debut is not deserved for a rookie group starting out. At least now it actually ruined their popularity, to be honest, because if without the hate and with Magnetic, I'm telling you, they might have been darlings of the 5th gen already, but they're not. Right? They got all that hate, and it's just recently that people are starting to see that they're good. And guys, anybody who watched, please, I'll post the Eyelet official page. Their content is really engaging. Their content is funny. They recently had this content where they went into a PC cafe and played League of Legends, right? How fun is that? So check them out. But then again, it's vindication for everybody for Le Seraphim, for Eyelet, for Hybe, and for Ador, that all the claims that New Jeans are doing is just claims. right? Minheejin's case, it's ongoing, but I'm just gonna be talking about New Jeans for now. So right now they can't use NJZ. Everything has to go through Ador. So ComplexCon will go through Ador, and they need to perform as New Jeans unless they want to use all their 5 names, their individual names. But then again, it's a big development. It's very big news. Already 25 minutes, but it's big news. It proves that you don't just break contracts. You need evidence, you need proof, and you need to follow process. Right? You don't just do it out of a whim. Because personally, I think that they just want to break free without paying a penalty. But then no, that's the reason why there's contracts. So everybody, this should be a cautionary tale that if you want to do something, at least do it with a proper process. And also, I mean, don't be too entitled. But then again, they won't even know because they are entitled. But well, it's a win. It's a win for Islet. It's a win for Le Seraphim, Source Music, Blift, Ador, and Hype. So let's just see, because remember the main trial is not will be on April, and let's see if this works. But then until then, there's no NJZ. It's New Jeans, and they're still part of Ador.